How you doing, Michael?
Right, yourself.
Yeah, really good, thanks. I watched a movie today. It was so much fun.
Oh, great, great. I'm glad you liked it.
I'm going to start by asking when the kind of idea for this came around. I think I read something. It was on Black Dynamite when you had the idea for Outlaw Johnny Black.
Yeah, I had the idea to do this one and a horror movie,
Hmm.
like kind of like the Blackula type of stuff.
Is that horror movie sort of underway then? Is that still something? Is
Yeah.
that still working on?
Oh, yeah. That's something that's in the pipeline.
Mhm. So how was it being in the director's chair on this one? I mean, like genuinely to direct and produce and to act in one project. I mean, did you get to sleep at all?
Oh, it's quite natural. Even when I'm acting, I can't turn off my director and producer brain anyway. So yeah, it's absolutely natural. I mean, when I was 10 years old, I was shooting and editing and directing my own stuff. That's when I didn't even realize that this was something that was in my blood. So I'm just kind of operating in the capacity I was meant for.
You may not remember, but the sort of the little projects you might have been putting together when you were 10 years old, do you think there was anything stylistically similar to what you're doing now as an adult?
Absolutely. I always was into storytelling.
Hmm.
When in fourth and fifth grade, I used to put on puppet shows for the class in the school. And didn't realize that I was this storyteller in the hood and all this type of stuff. When I got older, you know, luckily I started finding my natural way into what I think I was intending on doing. So I'm just very fortunate.
Talking of being fortunate, I mean, obviously being a director is quite challenging, but it must be made so much easier when you've got a cast around you, like the one that's been assembled for this movie. I mean, it's just there's so much talent amongst the ranks. I mean, just does it mean when you are on set, you just there must be some alleviate so much pressure knowing that they've got this.
Oh, absolutely. I shot for the stars and I got them. You know, people like Anika Noni Rose. That's it's great because that's the only person I saw, and I got her. And Anika Noni Rose she has the class. I mean, she's classy if she was in a chicken suit, she'd be classy. It doesn't you can't hide that. And then Glenn Turman and everybody else, it just all the actors were just tremendous. And basically, what they would bring to the character is something that they kind of exude that in their natural characteristics anyway. So it's kind of like I'm cheating.
I was going to ask too about I mean, the balancing of of so many different kind of genres and themes in this. I mean, it's really funny, the movie. I mean, at its core, you could say it's a kind of comedy. There's some really like laugh out loud kind of funny moments, but it has to remain within the world of the Western. It has to abide by the kind of rules of the Western and still
Absolutely.
maintain a really compelling narrative at the same time. Was that quite a challenge to merge all of that together and get it right?
Yeah, it's a challenge, but why are you doing it? I was happy that people who had seen it, some of the test audiences walked away saying that I've never seen a movie like this. But that's what you want to do. You want to weave together all the best components of everything. And so, as you say, like I had to be, I had to be authentic to Westerns. You got to feel like these people belong in Westerns. And then a lot of times there's Westerns where you feel like this person just stepped out of a Starbucks and it just doesn't work. So you had to have people who had that core, those values, just like Anika Noni Rose, she has this timeless quality. And I think everybody that was cast feels like that, right? So for the comedy to work and everything else, and then the storytelling where you don't, you hopefully blindside people with these messages that they don't see coming, right? And so, what better than the Western genre to set up a a movie about redemption and forgiveness, but disguise it as a revenge film? So the Western genre was perfect for that type of a kind of magic trick.
Were you a fan of the westerns kind of growing up? For so many people, they seem to say it's the film that they always remember like watching with their dad on a kind of Sunday afternoon and stuff. I just wondered if you had a similar experience when you grew up watching these movies.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, the greatest characteristics come from these westerns. These people who are these phenomenal human beings that occupied the screen. I mean, from the John Waynes, the Lee Van Cleefs, Clint Eastwoods, all these people who you couldn't take your eyes off of them because they were made of something else, you know? And you got to do homage to those people. You got to have people who have that timeless quality to them, you know? So, yeah. And then to me, I'd argue that the whole movie genre is based on those Westerns. Even when you're on set right now, I don't care if you're shooting a Marvel film, you're going to say, you know, a cowboy shot, you know, is a shot from a certain, you know, ratio that's based on the Westerns. But and then just the characters, the heroics and just the femme fatales, all of that to me is you're always, to me, compared to Westerns in my mind.
I remember when I was a kid, I mean, we'd all pretend to be kind of cowboys running around, standing behind doors, shooting each other with our fingers. I just wonder, I mean, you're doing this now, but as a job and as an adult. I just wondered how it is being on sets and shoots like this. And does it tap into that kind of childlike perspective?
Yes, it does.
Remind you why you got into this craft in the first place?
Yes, it does. And I tell you one thing that I'm really proud of is that when I've directed or produced anything, there are people, what occurs on set is that, I mean, people really have a good time. I don't separate myself from the fact that we are adults. We are adults who basically, we ran away and joined the circus and made a living at it. So there is no excuse for like stress and attitude and ego. That doesn't happen on my sets. You know, one of the things I was really happy about is that even crew members who normally don't give a damn about a movie, they were asking for scripts because they were so into the storytelling that they were like, they really found themselves engaged. And so that's something that I want to shoot for that anytime I'm doing a movie. That you create an environment that is just so friendly and so accessible for people to do their best work.
Is that part of what made you want to sort of get into directing as well? That you get to dictate and shape the tone of a set? Because I guess you've been on a manner of different movie sets and TV sets across your career. You must have seen every type of film set there is. Is it nice to be able to have that, be in that position to say, this is my set, this is what I want it to be like?
Yeah, but I mean, it's nice, but that's not what drives me. I'm always confused sometimes when I see, you know, sometimes you see wasted money and wasted time, or if you're not empathetic to everyone, sometimes you have these clashes. But as a director, I ended up, it lended to my strengths as just me. I've always had the most eclectic friend base because I was a little, you know, I can understand what everybody is searching for. And so just, I've always been the moderator throughout my life, whether it be family, friends, and everything else. I'm the guy that goes, okay, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I'm kind of this therapist. So it's great for directing. It's really fun to me because I honestly love logic puzzles. Just on my own, I love to solve logic puzzles. And with movie making, you got people who are amazing at their jobs. Guess what? You're going to win, you know? And so it's kind of like the deck is stacked in my favor. So, you know, I'm pretty confident, and I'm a kid in the candy store.
And just my very final question then. I mean, you talk about kind of being blessed to have people around you that are kind of just at the top of their game. I love the score for this so much. I just wanted to talk about how involved you got into that side of things. But that's such a classic sort of spaghetti Western feel to it. It felt quite modern, I thought, at the same time.
Right, yeah, but I got very involved in it, more than I thought I would ever, because I basically, I placed the music. The craziest thing is David Hollander, who did the music for Black Dynamite, was studying nothing but Italian spaghetti Western music for like 10 years and has written a book on it. And he happened to be doing that while I'm setting up a Western. So he had a library for me of some of the greatest Western composers that existed back in the 70s and everything else, including Ennio Morricone, who he had developed a friendship with Morricone and his family before he passed. So I had this whole tapestry of some of this amazing music. And it's the movie you might think was composed, like we did the movie and had a composer. That was me basically listening to all of this music and finding and spotting and using similar melodies to create a composition for the movie. Thanks, pandemic, because I was sitting there just going through so much music to where I knew this is where this song will be placed. And I had a chance to do it. Like that would have never happened without the pandemic because I had nothing but time on my hands.
Well, you nailed it.
Well, thank you.
But thanks so much for your time today, Mark, and best luck with the release of the movie as well.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey you guys!
Hey, you guys!